Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Azim Rizk. I'm Benny in the movie Day for Night, and you're watching Back to the Movies with Sean Evans.
We are standing on the edge tonight. Need the wings so we can fly. Standing over the edge, falling over the edge. Yeah, yeah. We are hanging on the edge tonight. Need 1,000 wings to fly. Standing over the edge. So tonight on the show we have Azim Rizk, star of the movie Day for Night. How are you doing today, man?
Wonderful, man. Great to have me.
Good, good, good. So, you play a character called Benny in this independent film noir called Day for Night. Could you give everyone a quick overview of how he intertwines within the storyline?
So this is actually a really cool genre. This is going to be an LA noir, and having lived in LA for about 6.5 years, it's very close to me. The lead actress, our lovely leading lady, Ariel Bragfeld. She's got a lot going on in her life right now, and it's a really relatable story, regardless if you're an actor or an actress, because she's really just struggling to fulfill her dreams, and I think everybody's kind of in a place like that. Now, at the point in the story when she when she kind of starts to meet Benny, is when she's right about to fall off the edge, and Benny sort of Benny represents that kind of stability that we all think to ourselves, hey, maybe I could have that life. Maybe I could have the wife and kids, and for her the husband and kids and a house, and just, settle down. And I think she gets like a glimpse of that, and then we get to find out what she wants to do with it. Does she want to go that direction, or does she want to go the other direction?
Okay.
And that inner conflict for her is going to be a huge part of the movie. And for Benny, it's going to be, well, you'll have to see. You'll have to see.
Okay, I like it, man. I like it. Nice little tease there. I mean, Ariel's character in the movie, she's kind of chasing that American dream, as you say. I mean, does Benny's character kind of bring her down to earth, or does he go along the ride with her to kind of chase the American dream with her? Or is he the kind of guy who kind of holds her back and says, okay, let's start a family, let's be realistic, let's be more grounded, sort of thing?
Yeah, they end up meeting up in the middle. He is trying to ground them, for sure, trying to keep them both, on the earth. But, I think a part of Benny doesn't want to be on the earth. He's lived that life. I mean, he's a mechanic. He works with his hands. He spends hours and hours of the day toiling away, and the prospect of her fulfilling her dreams and bringing him with her is almost a reality he didn't think was possible. So it'll be a back and forth. They're both gonna their interaction is gonna show a lot of different colors for both of them.
Okay, it sounds exciting. Now, for everybody out there who doesn't know, Azim here plays a Power Ranger in Power Rangers Megaforce. And yes, I like it, man. I like it. The inner nerd inside me is happy to be speaking to you today. And for those who don't know, the Kickstarter does actually have a few classes where you can learn martial arts, and you can learn how to kick ass and basically have a good time doing it, being taught by Azim here. I mean, whose idea was it to come up with these martial arts classes? How did you start out with martial arts, and how did it all wind up to you ending on Day for Night?
Well, that's a lifelong thing there, isn't it? I When I was a kid, I used to do, karate when I was very young, and then I said, okay, maybe I'm not so into karate, I want to do capoeira. And then I did capoeira for a little while. When I moved to Los Angeles, the first thing I did was I found a stage combat instructor and started doing stage combat and fencing. And, sorry, excuse me. And then when I talked to Michael about Day for Night, a huge part, there's a specific scene in here that I know you guys are going to love, that does require an amount of physicality from me. And we talked about that together. And I said, are you kidding me? Of course I'm up for it, never mind about Power Rangers, but I've always loved martial arts. I've always loved parkour, and we can definitely make something fun with this. And so when he started doing the Kickstarter campaign, he came to me and said, "Hey, I was thinking, can we offer something? That you do something for everybody?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course. We'll do I'll give anyone who wants to come in, give them a little private lesson in how to adapt fighting to film because it really is a different kind of art. A lot of people make the misconception that if you're a martial artist, you can do staged combat as well, and that's it. There's really a subtle difference between the two, but you'll know the difference when you watch a movie. You don't need to be a pro. If you see shaky cam, you know they're covering something up. And if you're able to see these long, drawn-out shots, I mean, I know everybody loves the movie Princess Bride. Well, that fight took them months to rehearse and figure out. And they had one of the greatest sword masters of all time, Bob Anderson.
Yeah.
And if you don't put that kind of time and effort and love into the fight, that moment won't read for the character the same as it normally would. So hopefully if anyone signs up for this thing, then I'll give them a little tutorial on that, and then maybe inspired filmmakers out there can use it to help their project.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and I like you bringing up Princess Bride there, because I actually spoke to Kerry Alvarez about that fight scene. He said the amount of effort and time and coordination that it took. He said it was like a very well thought out film in itself, a very thought out coordination. On the subject of fencing, we interviewed Ariel last week, who openly admitted to you guys fencing on set. She said she had the better style, but your technicality was superb. Do you agree with that, or is she being modest, or did you just kick her ass?
I don't know. She's got those legs.
Yeah,
those
screw
legs.
the fencing, screw the fence.
Yeah, I mean, she can distract you with her legs, or she can just lunge on them, and she'll look like she's 10 feet away, and all of a sudden her blade's right in your face.
Wow. Okay, so you're not giving too much away on who won there.
Yeah. I think probably what she said is pretty dead on. I mean, I've just been fencing for longer, so my technique is going to be a little better.
Yeah.
But she's got this creative way of fencing. She's just like a fencer we know. A mutual friend of ours we're actually about to do another movie with, named Ed Gusts. And they both have this like non-traditional fencing style where you don't really know what they're going to do because they're not. It's so off color. And but to answer your question, because I know I sort of gave a politician's answer there, I think I'd probably take her down pretty clean.
Okay, the gauntlet has been set, man. I'll relay that to her when we finish this interview, and we'll see what goes down. Now, I've got to ask, man. I mean, what does it feel like to be a Power Ranger? Do you just walk into a grocery store one day and be like, "Yeah, I'm a Power Ranger"?
Yeah, I mean, I only buy black or green foods.
Is that the Power Ranger diet right there?
Oh yeah, only black or green foods. And my friend the Red Ranger only buys red foods. It's it's really restrictive sometimes, but you get used to it. I like broccoli, so it works out.
Okay, man. Okay, understandable. I mean, are there any perks to being a Power Ranger, like discounted motorcycle helmets or something?
I wish. Well, I had to pay full price for my motorcycle helmet. I think there are a lot of perks. Lately I've been getting to travel around a lot and meet the fans, and it's easy to get. It's easy to have a kind of a weird sense of who your fan base is if you're only ever online, because mostly kids watch the show, right?
Yeah.
And 5-year-olds are not using Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. So, well, I guess I shouldn't say that because there's probably some out there who are using it, but for the most part. So the people I hear from are the adults. But then I get to go to a Comic-Con or something like that, and now I get to experience all of the kids. I get to experience, their love for the show. They get to come up and express how Jake, the character I played, made them happy, made them laugh, made them want to go learn martial arts. Who knows? And that's an experience that I miss unless I meet them in person.
Yeah.
So for me, that's been really rewarding.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, if you're a fan of the previous series as well, I mean, going to Comic Con actually representing the brand, it must feel quite nostalgic to kind of be there and to meet these obviously young fans who come up to you and like look up to you in a way for these kind of
Yeah,
things. It must be a really good feeling.
it's yeah, it's the weight of responsibility is what it is,
Yeah.
and I don't take it lightly. It's they're really really wonderful kids, and you never know what they're going to come up to you and say.
Has one ever challenged you to a fight before? Because there's always that guy at Comic Con.
Absolutely. In fact, I'll tell you a story. The first week after I got this job, I went to one of my friends' pool parties, and while I'm at the pool party, he's walking around bragging about how I just became a Power Ranger. Oh, my friend Azim, he's a Power Ranger. He's a Power Ranger. And then this 4-year-old comes up, and he looks me right in the eye with these big old innocent eyes, and he goes, "You're a real Power Ranger?" I said, "Yeah. What do you think about that, bud?" And he looked at me, and then he socked me right in the nuts and yelled, "Prove it!" And that was my induction into Power Rangers.
Oh, dude, you've got many more nut shots to come if you're gonna keep this job up.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, with the campaign, back to day for night before I go into this nerd cycle. In the last 4 days of the campaign, the film is now fully funded, so we're actually targeting stretch goals right now, which is amazing. You still have a few lessons to go for people to purchase as perks. So what would you say to donators out there to convince them to pledge in the final home stretch and to book a masterclass with Mr. Azim Rizk?
Well, let's see. Anyone out there who's ever been interested in any kind of violence, I can teach you how to do it safely, make it look good, and have fun doing it with your best friends or your loved ones. So come on down.
You worried me with that first bit. I'm thinking loads of weird guys with rope and serial killer traits are gonna turn up. Teach me some moves.
I'm going to be honest. I got a lot of students who are like that, but that's part of the. I mean, for me, that's part of the thing, right? Because if I go to a lot of martial arts schools too, right? And some kids get into martial arts to learn how to kick the crap out of their bullies,
Yeah.
right? But you can't just think of martial arts as I'm going to get in fights now. So if you teach somebody who knows martial arts stage combat, well, now they have another outlet, and they can use their knowledge for creativity instead of for violence.
Okay,
So
man. I think that's a perfect way to wrap up this interview, man. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. Thanks for joining me. Congratulations on a successful campaign. Keep kicking ass on Power Rangers, and all the very best, man.
thanks, Sean. Take care, man.